Last operator standing. Op 4, last stop standing.
Jake, we got to play Operation Para Bellum the other day over at Ubisoft. It is the second season of content for Year 3 for Rainbow Six Siege. It is also the biggest update to the game since it released. There are a lot of changes to break down, but first I think we can jump right into the operators because we got hands-on with them. There are Maestro and Alibi. You played a lot of Maestro, so can you tell me about him?
Yeah, so Maestro is one of 2 defenders this season. So unlike last season where they start out with 2 attackers, now we have 2 defenders. And his thing is that he can place almost indestructible cameras. There are ways to destroy it, but he can place indestructible cameras that have a little window that when you hold right click, they open, and then you can shoot a pretty weak gun, but it's
like
still
a Twitch drone on the wall almost.
It's like a rapid fire Twitch drone.
And you have 2 of those. If you're a defender and say Maestro dies and you're still alive, it'll become like a Valkyrie cam. So you could switch to it from the other normal cameras, but it'll still be on the wall. So yeah, it's almost indestructible, but when they open their shield to actually shoot the attackers, then they're like, say,
they're vulnerable.
Twitch can shoot
and
them,
you're also saying so explosives can get rid of it. So if you put it on an indestructible wall, that's an easy way to get rid of it. I wouldn't recommend doing that when you get your hands on it. Don't put it on destructible walls. Another way to deal with it is Dokubi's phone call hack thing, because you'll get thrown off the camera. So if it is placed like in the hostage room or whatever,
next to a bomb,
and Dokubi calls, then you're gonna get thrown off. You're gonna have to fix that before you can get back on. And then also Thatcher's EMP will deal with it as well.
You can put it on floors. You can put it on almost any surface that you could put, like, say, Jaeger's ADS on.
Oh, okay.
There aren't many situations. Like I was telling you, it'd be funny if someone was rappelling and then they look down at the floor and there's one right in their face. But like almost maybe 99% of the time, you'd be better off putting it on like a tile wall that you can't destroy.
Something worth pointing out with Maestro though is that he also has a LMG, which I think he's the first defensive operator to have an LMG.
And it has like what?
81 rounds. 81 rounds.
Pretty much don't have to.
I used an ACOG, which was a mistake because it is all over the place. But I think it'd kill with it.
And then his other primary is it's like a AA-12 shotgun. Right?
Yeah, so they both have this. I think they call it like an ACS-12 or something like that.
And then there's secondary weapons. I like their secondary weapons a lot too. There's one like mid-range. It's like a 357 revolver, right? And then the other one's like a short-range. It looks like a snub-nosed shotgun pistol. I know that doesn't exist really, but that gun was really good for shredding walls, like making kill walls, right?
Yeah. If you prefer using the LMG, then definitely take that snub-nosed shotgun pistol so you can basically clear your way through walls.
And also, Glaz haters will be glad to know that the Evil Eye can also see heat signatures through smoke. So that's a good counter to Glaz. We finally have one. I like Glaz, but if Glaz throws a smoke grenade, you're not completely defenseless anymore. All right, and we talked about Maestro's weapons. Let's move on to Alibi. I played more Alibi. I really like Alibi. Again, she's also a defender. They did say, Leroy Athanasov, the game director, was there. He said, this is the last time there will be 2 on one side. So from now on, they'll be balanced. There'll be 1 attacker, 1 defender for the foreseeable future. But Alibi, she's the first one people saw, and they know she can send out decoys. So how that works is it's a throwable object.
She's got 3.
Just 3 of them, yeah. So you throw it on the ground, and this like metal bar will come up where her feet will be, and she'll be facing away from where you throw it. It'll just be her standing with her weapon. The cool thing about it is if an attacker sees that and shoots it, they'll be tagged. Almost like you see if Jackal traces someone's footprints, you see that red tag through the wall, or just tag someone with a camera. It'll look like that, but it'll be like Alibi's logo.
Yeah, one interesting thing though we noticed was that even if you shoot the gadget, like if you know it is a hologram and you shoot the gadget, you still get pinged.
Oh really? Okay. So your best.
At least that happened to me. I actually have footage of that too that we can cut too.
So your best option as an attacker is to recognize that it's a decoy and not shoot it.
You also said running through it too though, right?
Yeah, if you disrupt the field, like you'll know you disrupt it because if you shoot it, it'll flash like blue, like hologram, kind of Star Wars like. If you run through it, it'll also like disrupt the field. It's pretty much like a motion sensor in her body almost. And I like it a lot. It was cool. Like at one point, I remember in the new map, which we'll get to right away, I threw down one of her decoys behind a bar so they couldn't see her base. So like someone came in and they could see her behind the bar and it looked to them like it was just me. I really like the idea of kind of messing with people's, like her whole character, the bio is based around her being manipulative. So she kind of controls the information. I really do also like her weapons. So she does have that other, like the shotgun that we mentioned.
The ACS-12, AA-12 type.
Automatic shotgun.
But her submachine gun I liked a lot.
If I'm not mistaken, it's
MX4,
MX4 Storm. So if you played Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, you might recognize that. I really liked it. It was a solid rate of fire. It was pretty accurate. There wasn't much recoil to it. I got a bunch of kills during our demo the other day.
It's also worth noting that Maestro is 3 armor. One speed, and
she's the opposite.
And she's the opposite. And also, one thing that I do want to mention with Alibi is that if you have Alibi on your team and someone exits the area you're supposed to stay in,
the building,
exits the building, it doesn't give away what characters. So it'll still say like defenders outside, but it'll have a question mark over, so it won't immediately. So and that's with your entire team.
You can also mess with people. If you throw a decoy out of the building, it'll say defender detected outside. So say they're about to push and you throw one of those outside, they'll get that notification that says defender detect outside. And like you said, it won't show like Jaeger's spider web. It'll just show a question mark.
Yeah.
So like,
but it's only when you have her on your team.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting. I think that adds like a cool little ability that will probably come in handy that people probably won't think about. So and then outside of those 2 new characters, they also have one of your favorite characters is buffed.
Echo. He is my favorite operator in the game on either side. He now has 2 yokais, so previously if your yokai got destroyed, it's gone. But now that gets destroyed, he can relocate. If you're playing point defense, he can throw another one in. Also, a bunch of other characters got a new piece of equipment, a secondary gadget.
But yeah, so basically you can't adjust angle of view. This camera is fixed when you place it, but it's indestructible.
Yeah, those were great for like on landings of stairways, or like if you could find a long hallway that you could see all the way to the end, that's where I kept putting it.
Yeah.
And that like switches it up between the normal deployable shield, barbed wire, impact grenades, etc. So just giving more options to those characters as well. And again, that factors into the whole kind of this expansion being all about intel and manipulating it. And I'm really excited. And then of course there are a slew of other changes being introduced with Para Bellum as well. Villa. It was designed to be competitive. As soon as this season launches, they're going to put it into the pro sports circuit if you care about that. Also, one minor thing that people will like, if you want to practice this map, you don't have to do custom games. There's going to be a specific playlist for Villa in matchmaking, so you can jump right into it. I believe that's casual and ranked.
They said, what, 4 weeks?
Yeah, for 4 weeks.
For 4 weeks.
And then it'll be into the rotation with all of our favorite maps. It's fantastic. I like it a lot. There's a lot of like different sight lines in the hallways. There's a cellar you can enter through. It's pretty cool. To breach into the cellar, you go through wine casks.
Yeah, you play I was playing as Sledge, and I just like chopped it down. It's pretty satisfying. Yeah, exactly.
There's like 3 stairways up from the bottom, so it's a lot of verticality. They said they were focusing on verticality for this map. We found that there was a good mix of like short and long sight lines. In general, it's just a really good looking map, which
it's
doesn't
gorgeous.
matter as much. Yeah.
But then there's also Clubhouse, which has a map buff, is what they're calling it, which is almost feels like a redesign to me.
It feels like a different map.
Because so there's those 2 separate areas on the 2nd floor. Those are now connected through like a construction room, and then downstairs the billiards room and the bar are now separated. Before there was kind of like stairs you could walk up to the next area, but now there is a wall in between it. And there's other minor tweaks, but I think those are the 2 that really stood out to me.
But yeah, overall, Clubhouse felt like pretty much a new map.
I think I liked it too.
Yeah, because like if you're up top and you're trying to breach into one of those points up top, you're not pretty much exposed if you're on the outside. There's the pick and ban system being introduced. It works differently because so we played 1 round of it, right? Or a couple rounds of it.
We played 2 games of it, yeah.
You pick, the first team will pick an attacker and a defender to ban, and that will not only ban it for the other team, it'll ban it for your team as well. So say we automatically right away were like, let's get Caveira the fuck out of this match.
Yeah.
We could not use her at all either.
Yeah, or Lion.
And then attack-wise, we're like, let's get Lion out, which a lot of people are like, they're gonna ban him all the time. But again, we couldn't use Lion either. And then they banned like Glaz. That was really cool because it also, right after you do the pick and ban, it'll show what 5 operators you're using in that round, and then one person gets the chance to switch. So,
from each team, each round. Yeah,
each round. So each round you go in and say there's a Legion, there's a Smoke, there's a, like you have all 5 people lined up. The 5th person could say, hey, I'm gonna switch from Smoke over to Frost. And then they wouldn't know that there's a Frost. Of course, if you're droning and you're droning well, you're gonna see her. That definitely shook up the game as far as like intel. The defenders had a lot more intel on who was attacking. Attackers knew who they were going up against in defense outside of just droning. I like that. It's more about like the mind games, which I think that's what they're kind of going for with this update. Whereas last update was all about those global abilities, Finka's healing, her nano boost, and then Lion's drone. This is more about information and manipulating it. And I really like how that fits into the game. And so that is our hands-on time with Operation Para Bellum. It's about as concise as we could make it. There's a lot to take in. Again, it is Ubisoft's biggest update to the game as it continues to surpass like 30 million players. If you're watching this, then they had those Pro League games on May 20th, Sunday, where you could have seen, the trailers and the gameplay trailers for Maestro and Alibi shown off. And we'll probably have more in the coming weeks from Rainbow Six Siege. Thanks for watching.